Why, hello, YouTube. So, everybody's been on about this champion toxic rain build. I believe Darky is the one who made it originally. Could be wrong. Pretty sure it's his, though. However, everybody has been doing basically the same versions, looking at all of the same versions of a build that was built for hardcore and hardcore solo self-found and to work in gauntlet situations and all sorts of things like that. Whereas we, the majority, sit around in Softcore Trade League with access to a lot more and not as much need to be quite as tanky. So I thought that I would pull that hardcore solo self-found gauntlet capable build and turn it into something far more appropriate for Softcore. So before I get into what we've changed, the important parts is we've lowered the defenses, but we haven't gotten rid of the defenses. I really like the idea that it's a super tanky build and that it's nearly impossible to kill. And so we've kept that, except instead of being nearly impossible to kill in Gauntlet, it's just nearly impossible to kill in the normal game. We've still got a ton of armor, 46,000 armor. We've still got 55,000 evasion. We are in pretty reasonable starter gear. The only thing that is expensive in this list is my bow and quiver. The quiver is quite good, but we could just put on a worse one, still have tons of damage. The bow is quite good, but also craftable. These are makeable bows that we can do, but we can also go down to a far more generic bow and still have 10 million DPS. So most of the hardcore versions of this have between 4 and 6 mil, depending on the gear. We were aiming for 10 to 12. So, you know, more than double. So we'll put back on our good gear. You will see we've got 12 million DPS and we are level 90, not 98. This is a level 90 build with plenty of things to happen after level 90. So we'll be sharing the full path of building. I haven't done leveling trees for this. We will quickly go through how you level it in a moment. But basically, some changes have been made. We've got a thread of hope. So we've got all the skill effectuation from here. We get ourselves a thread of hope. Originally, we had power charges in there, but since the move with the passive tree, we did lose the power charges, which was a little bit sad. We could still take them. We are in level 90. We could just take them if we wanted to, but this thread gets us Harrier and the skill effectuation over here, which really matters for Toxic Rain. The longer the duration of Toxic Rain is, the more damage it does. But as you can see, a lot of the build is similar to what we've had. So things that have changed is things like that. We may have balanced our mana a little differently. We will have more evasion than this because some stuff isn't working in Path of Building. We do have Effect of Wither. We have one cluster setup, and I went for a little bit more of a quality of life cluster setup than a raw damage one. So I could have brought the damage up a little bit higher, but I also am a big fan of quality of life. So we've got the normal Touch of Cruelty, Wicked Pal, Unholy Grace. This is one of the most common large chaos clusters. There'll be plenty of them around. Almost everybody will want them. However, I went for some slightly lower damage medium clusters. So we ended up going with Repeater, which was our highest damage medium notable we could find, but then also Streamlined, which is only 20% projectile damage, but it comes with 20% projectile speed. Anyone familiar with any version of any build I've done that has projectiles in it will know that I'm a really large fan of projectile speed. I believe the quality of life that it gives is amazing. And when you fire Toxic Rain, it does fire up in the air off the screen and then down, and both of that is controlled by projectile speed. So gaining 40% projectile speed from these two nodes, being as that's our only projectile speed, makes that whole thing happen 40% faster, which starts our damage earlier. And I believe that quality of life is huge for making it feel better and more responsive, quicker to start damage. It doesn't actually increase our DPS because there's still the same amount of time between every attack. It just means that the first attack you do will start dealing damage earlier, which is quite nice. We do have all of the masteries picked that we think we'll be using. There's some tiny things missing in Path of Building that have given us a tiny bit of dodge and a tiny bit less spell suppression than we will have, but we will have that at 100. That'll be at 100 in-game, not 97. It's just Path of Building being slightly behind. There's not much else to say about this. It's just been turned into a little more softcore. We've only got 5.3k life instead of the 7 or 8. Less armor, less evasion, still plenty tanky, just way more damage to go in this tree. Way more damage, kill stuff quicker, be a little bit more softcore like. For the calcs page, you will notice that we have still and just disgustingly, incredibly large amount of effective health against everything. Our chaos is a little bit low here, but that is because we've been very generous with most of the items and they don't have suffixes. So we can have chaos res on a whole lot of things. When you look at this belt, be aware that this belt is fixing all of the things. This is actually left over from Darky's original tree for hardcore. This belt is fixing all of the things that aren't showing up in Path of Building right now. So when those things do show up, you will have to strip that belt out and just put, if you want to see what it is like, you can remove all these custom mods. Just remove. When all of the gems and everything get updated, those just won't be needed. So yeah, this is it. This is going to be a relatively quick one because everyone has covered Toxic Rain Champion, and I just wanted to throw my hat in the ring with the softcore variant that does significantly more damage for a little bit more squishy. I thought that would be good, especially since most people are in softcore trade. We're going to work on some other build guides. Spoiler alert, we've got a Stormbrand Inquisitor coming that I think will actually be really good. And a few others. So that is it for this one. I will see everybody later. Goodbye.